Let's take you into the Wayback Machine. We're going to take you way back to when top Democrats Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, and Chuck Schumer sounded just like Trump, saying yes. Democrats said yes, Congress must do reciprocal tariffs, that the U.S. must stand up to nations taking advantage of America. Listen to this.
In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Is that reciprocal? The U.S. allows China to flood our markets with a third of their exports, and that'll probably go over 40%, and it's limitless because we have not placed any restriction. In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade.
It's also proper for advanced economies like the United States to insist on reciprocity from nations like China.
I think we got to get tough with China. I am much closer to President Trump on China than I was to President Bush, Republican, President Obama, Democrat, because they let China get away with everything.
Well, that sounds a lot like Democrat hypocrisy, pretense, sanctimony. Should Democrats stop acting like they're on the moral high ground politically? When Quinnipiac polling shows congressional Democrats are polling at a record low of just 21%, Republican approval has reached a high of 40%. Joining us now from Ways and Means, we're so excited to have back on and thrilled to talk to New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, it's great to see you. So, given what you heard about Democrats wanting reciprocal tariffs in the past, how come they never did anything about it?
You know, I gotta love these clips because that's one of the things I ran on in 2016 while President Trump was running. And remember what he talked about. I'm from upstate New York. I have the Erie Canal District, you know, the area where we had the Industrial Revolution created, hollowed out by China. You know, trade was one of those things that was really a Democrat talking point. And as Trump sort of weaves, I'll use his language, weaves into Democrat territory on, yeah, let's make this fair. Let's make sure that we have fair trade. And that's what President Trump ran on, and he won on. And that's why he won over a lot of independent and a lot of Democrats on this very policy. And he has the courage to implement this policy. I know everybody's kind of melting down and it looks a little risky. I'm one of those older people too. But look, we have to do this with $36 trillion in debt. When you add this to what we're going to be doing on the Ways and Means Committee, we're busy in tax camp, as I call it. We're holed up in a remote location, making sure that we can deliver on President Trump's promises, making sure that we renew the tax cuts that we already have, which will produce the growth, and continue the tax cuts that are in place that, by the way, sustained our growth through the COVID virus problem, the pandemic, through the horrible days of the Biden administration, and will get us through to the next era, which is the golden age. Okay. And you're going to see we're going to be cutting taxes. We're going to be spurring economic growth. We're going to be actually cutting with DOGE, and we're also going to be unleashing American energy. And you're going to see new growth. Be patient. This is going to come around.
Okay, we got Chuck Schumer. Let's show it. Chuck Schumer in 2006 slammed the, quote, exploding trade deficit with China, the EU, Japan, Canada, Mexico, South and Central America, and OPEC. He demanded action. The issue is these same lawmakers made a choice to not do anything, and as you point out, blow out spending and borrow a record $37 trillion as U.S. manufacturing took hits. There's also this. Barack Obama, let's get your reaction to Barack Obama even bragging about putting tariffs on China. Watch.
We had a tire case in which they were flooding us with cheap domestic tires or cheap Chinese tires. And we put a stop to it. And as a consequence, saved jobs throughout America.
You know, so where is that Obama today? Where are any of these Democrats today? You know, it's just total hypocrisy. It's why the American people see that and they say they've got zero credibility. The Democrat Party has collapsed into far-left fringe extremism.
Look, President Trump is standing up for the American worker, doing everything the Democrats said they would do, but he's actually doing it. And he's doing it in a way that is very, I mean, there's a lot of neutrality, a lot of flexibility here. He's just making sure that these people come to the table if they're going to get access to our market, which is the most sought after market in the world.
Got it. Congresswoman Tenney, thank you so much. We appreciate the news about tax camp. It's good information. Thank you so much.